What's up, everybody? Rico here. Welcome back to Chibind Brothers. I know my voice sounds a little bit weird. I have a sore throat, but just keep up with what I'm about to say because this is going to be a very important video. These top three stocks that I'm about to talk about, I call it the end of the year rally. The stocks that I call them, I refer to them as recession-proof stocks. Yes, fears happens from time to time. People can go ahead and sell off. But I'm going to explain why I call them recession-proof and why I think these are the top stock to look into them not only through the end of the year, but going into 2022. So I'm going to start with the first one, which is NVIDIA. NVIDIA is a really good company, right? They make chips, graphic cards. And everybody knows anyone who's a gamer or you're in crypto or, whatever you do, or even the metaverse now. NVIDIA is a company that's been literally killing it. Right now, you can't even find out in the market, let's say it, because NVIDIA does not actually sell the graphic card directly to retails. It usually goes through either like I believe Best Buy. You can buy it through them. They have like official dealers that you can buy the graphic card from them. And when you go to those official dealers to actually look the graphic cards, they're all out of stock. Because you know why? There's a high demand in those graphic cards. And by graphic cards, I mean they're made with chips. And right now that even the Fed or everybody else has been talking about chip shortages. But NVIDIA has been one of the company that literally has been killing it in revenue, forecast, literally anything, especially when it came to announcing their earnings. Every single earnings that they have had, I believe since 2020, NVIDIA has killed it. And the revenue keeps growing up. And the forecast for what they see to come is even higher than what analysts have actually, predicted, or at least they've actually put up the numbers together. Right. So I'm not going to talk too much because I don't want to boring you with all the tech nerd stuff, but I just want to jump into the chart because everybody else literally want to see what's going on. And I'm going to show you this pattern, and this pattern is going to appear in also the next two stocks that I'm going to talk about. So here it is. For almost the entire year, this is the region, these two yellow lines, we've been through for the last month, since the beginning of the year. Let's just say we've seen our top and our bottom, and the blue line here, I've always said, is the 50 moving average. So in the meantime, sometimes it's been acting, also it does act as a support, but you can see we've been in this range for quite a while. And then right here in November, we broke out of it. We're making new highs. So the reason I'm calling this the end of the year like rally, one of the top stock, and even going into 2022, just look at how the market crashed the last week or so, like, especially last week. You see how many of these stocks actually lost value. You can go back and look at, compared to most of the tech stocks, compared to, I don't know, DocuSign, compared to Square, compared to Twitter, compared to all these other stocks. It's the catching a knife. They fell big time, and a lot of them have not actually recovered completely. But if you look at NVIDIA, it's pretty much been sideways. Yes, it did drop on a daily trade, or should I say during intraday. But when you look at the actual chart within the last few days, it's literally been, if you look at this, it's sideways. Because even though there was so much selling pressure for everybody else paper ending, but there was also a lot of buying power into it, because these are look, smart investors always put money where they think it's recession proof, where they think if everybody else is crawling down, where they actually think things are going to be better. A company like NVIDIA could It's literally one. I'm not saying it's the only chip maker, right? I mean, there's Intel, there is Tencent, which is a Taiwanese company, but still, I'm talking about NVIDIA because this one is a big dog, right? So when you look at this stock, and it literally recovered as if nothing even happened. That's how much buying power is going to this company. So yes, there's a lot of things going on. Of course, stocks don't always go up, right? I mean, they do go up always, but from time to time they pull back. Correction right there. All right. So even though when they do pull back, yes, we have to expect things like, yeah, Omicron. We get it. Rona is still around, and there's a lot of things going on with it. Yeah, but there's more confidence in the market that really Rona would affect it as much as it used to. All right. That's one thing. The other thing is there's the Russia thing, Russia and Ukraine. All that's going on. People are thinking there's could be some tensions, or what could happen because Russia's a superpower, and so is the United States. Right? There's also China and Taiwan. So there's all this political news. There are always bad catalysts that could happen, create some selling pressure, and everybody get all fearful, and no one really, everybody's just like, oh, I don't want to do this. But at the end of the day, one thing that I want to remind you is there is a chip shortage and there is a high demand of chips in almost everything that we're doing. Remember, the metaverse is literally the future. One of the key thing that's really needed for the metaverse to happen fully is chips. And guess who can be not the only company, but one of the companies that can actually provide it? NVIDIA. The next thing, when we talk about global energy efficient, everything that we've been trying to do, electric, such and such, everything that's needed to switch to electrics, all that computer, not only computer power, but I mean like the world that we're trying to computerize, pretty much where we're going, everything is turning mostly not only virtual, but it's digital to virtual to when you look for Tesla, for example, which is a company that I'm actually, I'm always fond of it, but all the electric vehicles that they make, they need chips because those cars are almost intelligent, which is the word that I was looking for. I'm sorry. Try and recover here, but just follow me. Just bear with me and follow me. I know all these artificial intelligence and everything, the power and all that needed to push this new, should I call it, world order in one way, chips are the biggest things that are going to play a big role into it. And NVIDIA could be one of the biggest supply. It's a recession-proof stock. End of the year rally. So this one, I'm all in. Again, not a financial advice. This is my personal opinion. All right, we're not going to get stuck on this for a while. I want to get to the next one, which I've literally just mentioned it, which is Tesla, right? Told you guys last time, I pulled up some of these here. And if you remember, I compared these two rallies last time, and I'm just gonna go quickly over it. Remember, I said when we went back in this one, when I traced this to one right here, we actually ended up going down and then lower. Look what's happening here. It's literally the same thing. If I do this, I was expecting it because Tesla was holding so hard, or really, really good to get into this region and break out. But that did not happen. I also said there is always a possibility that things can change, which it did. But we also have to remember one thing. Elon Musk literally said he was going to sell 10% of his stocks or his Tesla holdings so he can be able to pay taxes. And so far, and those 10% were equal to about 17 million shares. And so far, Elon has only sold 10 million of those. So it means that even though he's been selling billions and billions of dollars, Tesla literally, if you look at the chart, it's been basically bouncing back between $1,000 and $1,100. It's been going back and forth, which is literally what I call sideways in that region. And it's understandable. It means there is people still believing, there's people that are still holding the stock. But not only that, there's always the buying power that's coming into the stock. Yes, there's fear. People always paper hand. People always sell because when there's news and whatever, and it's like a sympathy. When everything is down, the S&P is down, the Nasdaq is down, the Dow is down, everything, and wow, Tesla will be down too. And on top of that, Elon Musk also sells. It usually does it every Thursday or Fridays. So if you've been watching the market, you can actually follow the patterns that every Thursday or Friday. First, it was every Mondays he was doing that, and then it became to the end of the week. So if you follow his patterns, then you would realize that when we get to the end of the week, Elon Musk sells. So he gives the time for the stock to recover, and then he goes ahead and sells. As long as he's not done selling the remaining 7 million, yes, Tesla's going to probably be doing the back and forth, unless if there's huge news like a Tesla stock split. That, again, December 9th is tomorrow. So if December 9th is tomorrow and all these things that people have been talking about, that there's a possibility that could happen, they could announce it. Well, we'll see if it's going to happen tomorrow or if it's just another myth. But still, all I want to say is we know that the world is changing to electric. We're trying to move on from gas to electric vehicles. All right. And the reason I'm pulling out these charts is because I'm trying to show you how these stocks are actually performing when there is a very high volatility, when there is everything is almost selling out. It's been selling off, and then we've had a recovery this week. But you can tell that Tesla literally has been the same way, basically. Sell off or not sell off, it's been doing the same thing. You always end up closing the week almost at the same level. And for the fact that they are the leader in electric vehicle, we cannot avoid it. Almost every government is spending a lot of money to help move on to the next step. And we already know who's the leader in that. Recession proof right here. So again, big dog. It's an all-time beast, always in. I do believe in Tesla. And by the time we break out of this, you best believe, and especially I do believe that it's because Elon Musk always speaks, some ways that we always know at the end of the day, he probably going to do it. Because he said when he was asked, is it time for another split? And he responded by saying, not yet. He never said, no, it's never going to happen. He just said, not yet, which means at some point it will. And Tesla is literally coming back to the same levels that it was before when we had our first split. So keep watching. I'm going to keep repeating on this, but keep watching on no one. So I'm going to move on to the third recession-proof stock. And I'm pretty sure everybody else knows which one I'm talking about. So here it is. Apple. Apple, guys. Look, I'm going to show you here. Again, you can see the trend from NVDA to Tesla and now Apple. You can see the beginning of the year, they have been it looks almost the same. Almost. I'm not saying completely, but almost. And now we have a breakout, ladies and gentlemen, a breakout. We're out of this range, and now Apple is making new highs. And these new highs that Apple is making, and of course, I want to pull up these news out here that came out that Apple had signed a $275 billion deal to place it China, right? What we understand, Apple, they won't just sign a deal just because they want to please the Chinese. Right? We know how it's been happening over there with the, tech crackdown, and they've been pushing hard in China over there on their tech companies. The tech companies in China have been literally hammered this year by the CCP. But we know that Tim Cook is not dumb. He brought Apple to where it is now after he took over. So he won't just sign a $275 billion deal just to please them. There's always an interest into it. And it's because they also see, it's a market that they don't want to lose, the Chinese market, but also the biggest EV market. It's actually in China. And we know that Apple is getting into the EV industry too. It's getting into the EV sector too. They're supposed to come up with their own Apple car. So if you look to the future, you can already tell What could, I'm not saying I have all the information. I'm just putting up all these pieces and bits together to try and show you this type of recession proof stocks that could literally help your portfolio be a little bit more balanced. So Apple is one of them. I'm not going to give you a price target of whatever it is in any of these stocks. All I'm telling you is these stocks are, to me, the end of the year rally, even into 2022, because I know they're going to outperform based on everything historically, what they've been doing and what they are doing right now, and what's projected for the future in the entire world, and where these companies are actually placing themselves. So that's something to watch out. All right. But with that being said, I want to make sure I mention something. The CPI. We need to watch out this week that the Fed are going to come up with inflation. We know that Jerome Powell kind of came back on his word when he talked about inflation, and when he said, it wasn't going to be transitory anymore, kind of, I guess. And it expected it to be a little bit higher and to kind of last a little longer into 2022. So that's a problem that we're going to have to deal with. I don't personally think that it's going to be Rona that's going to, if there were to be a crash or market pullback because everything is almost all-time high, that could happen, because I want to make sure I mention this. And I also don't think it would possibly come from China because of the Evergrande crisis and all that stuff defaulting. No, I think there are catalysts that could make this thing go a little bit crazy. It's one of them would be Russia and Ukraine. We don't really know what happened. We don't really know what could happen, but we know last time when there was a tension between Russia and Ukraine, Russia ended up taking Crimea. So that wouldn't be a really, really good news in a lot of good calories, especially for the stock market, because that escalates things. But the biggest thing that's in my opinion, that I actually think that could be a threat to the market, or the biggest threat to the market right now, is inflation or the Fed. So everything that the Fed are going to be doing, the numbers that we're going to be seeing, are literally going to determine where the market is going to go. So we need to watch for those things. So anyway, I want to keep this video short, so I'm going to cut it right here. I think I talked too much today. If you guys like what we do and you like to support us on Patreon, please consider using the link in the description below. You can sign up. There are different tiers. What you think you can to support us every month, please consider checking the link to our Patreon. We do have one now. Also, if you like to trade in the stock market, there are a bunch of links in our description. They actually tell you which one. If you want to do it with Webull, you can get free stocks, or if you want to go ahead and do it public, you can also get free stocks. But the benefit from it is your execution doesn't go through payment per order flow, because you're actually getting the best execution in the market. Also, if you're crypto, we got links to Coinbase, where you can sign up if you would like, and if you deposit some kind of monetary system, and actually all of these, that's when you actually get a reward or something back. So thank you for considering doing that. Please do not forget to smash that like button, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you get videos just like this one every single time we post them. So guys, as for me, as always, I'll see you in my next video.